Biutiful, which is the new film from Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu, which has been nominated for several awards. Javier Bardem won the Best Actor award at Cannes. Since then, the film is up for Best Foreign Language Film at the BAFTAs, Best Foreign Language Film at the Oscars. Javier Bardem is also nominated for Best Actor in a Leading Role at the Academy Awards and Best Actor at the BAFTAs. So, it has awards attention. The story is, it's as always with Inarritu's films, it's very, very hard to explain briefly what the story is. Essentially, because you know who Inarritu is. He's the guy who made Amores Perros, then 21 Grams and Babel. In fact, for me, he was somebody who never really fulfilled the promise of Amores Perros. Amores Perros was 3 intertwining stories, all brought together with a car crash. These stories all smashed together at the beginning, and I loved how kinetic it was and how exciting. The idea of this multi-stranded thing, which obviously sort of prefigured Paul Haggis's crash. All these things brought together through a car crash. Then he went on to make 21 Grams, which was very sort of portentous, and what's the weight of the human soul, 21 grams. Then Babel, which was the most ponderous, portentous, full of itself load of old tosh, which was, hey, a shot rings out and echoes all the way around the world. And it was one of those, we're all a bit, aren't we, and we're all a bit connected. Well, what's happened now is he's moved on from the guy, the very schematic writer, Guillermo Arriaga, who wrote all those for him.
What's a schematic writer?
Well, you know what schematic means.
Just always writes to the scheme.
Yes, and regularly with intertwining plots that are connected through ever more sort of absurd and labyrinthine plot twists. Now, essentially, Inarritu has gone out on his own, forging out on his own, and brings us this tale in which, essentially, the key plot points are this. Javier Bardem is a troubled man. He has bad news from the doctors. He has a bipolar partner who is going through various states of disarray, ex-partner going through various states of disarray. He's attempting to look after his kids. He's involved with illegal immigrants who he is trying to help with disastrous consequences. And he's also dealing with the fact that he has one foot in this world and one foot in the next world. He has a sort of sixth sense thing, which means that when he goes to funerals, he can put people in touch with. So there is a number of different things going on. There's mortality. There's the weight of the human soul. There's the responsibility of being human. Is it possible to be good and do bad at the same time? Is it possible to be bad but do good? So all these things swirling around, all shot in Barcelona, which never looked quite so grim or down or sort of cruddy before. Now, on the upside, there are moments of sort of visual poetry which are very affecting, very touching, very poignant. There is a very, very strong central performance by Javier Bardem, who completely holds the whole thing together. And when I saw it at Cannes, remember the thing that I thought was he is going to win the Best Actor award because he is clearly the very best thing about the film. And in fact, if he wasn't such a sturdy sort of flagpole in the middle of it, drawing all these things together, the film would literally fragment. It's almost as if what's happening is Inarritu is dealing with so many subjects at the same time that if you didn't have something really solid, a kind of boulder-like presence in the middle of it, it would fall apart. However, the sort of meandering tone which goes between the sort of gritty urban reality and what's now referred to as magical realism, between this world and the next, between the here and the hereafter, after a while you start to think, yeah, well, yes, fine, but it all feels an awful lot like the problems that Inarritu's films have had in the past, which is the more they have a sense of their own importance, the more they have a sense of their own weight, the more they have a sense of their own sort of artistic validity, the less depth they actually have. And in the end, you end up watching this and thinking, well, it's asking a number of questions. It's like, what does it all mean? Can one man make a difference? Is a man either good or bad? Are we all connected in some way? What does it all mean? To which the answer is maybe no, of course, possibly, and 42. It's, you come out of it thinking the questions that it's raising seem to be terribly existential and terribly and yet at the heart of it there is this sense of Inarritu overstretching himself and it rambling and shambling, and were it not for the fact that Javier Bardem, who has the most magnetic face and can do an awful lot by doing very little, it would be. I mean, I still think that Inarritu has never made a film as good as Amores Perros, because that had its feet firmly in the exploitation world. It came out. It was a movie that understood a sense of linear drama, and I just need him to lighten up.